We're back, and in order to cleanse my soul from non-stop Toei Super Robot series, I've decided to return the Spin.Mo in the hopes of watching something that doesn't involve Go Nagai. I swear to God, dude, if I roll Steel Geek, I'm gonna be pissed. If you've seen my last two videos, you pretty much get the gist. I use this site to pull 3 random anime from the MyAnimeList database, I talk about them, and for some reason I keep getting 1 bad series for every 2 good series. And no, once again, I am not rigging the rolls. I did not watch Mirage of Blaze on my own volition. I would never do that. So will the trend continue? Well, let's see with our first awesome series. Rockin'. Wagnaria, also known as Working, was a 2005 4-panel comic strip by Karino Takatsu that lasted for 9 years, eventually getting a 3-season anime adaptation by A1 Pictures in 2010. And I trust the guys who adapted Sword Art Online with my life. Look, these shows even got the same character designer. This series takes us through the wacky hijinks of these employees at a family restaurant known as Wagnaria. That's why the show's called that. Our lead character, Takanashi, is offered the position by one of his senior classmates, Papura. And given his infatuation with cute small things, he just can't say no. Look how freaking tiny and wholesome 100 she is. At first, both me and the characters themselves were concerned that this would breach into like pedophile territory, but he clarified his infatuation with small things. It's not sexual or romantic. He just wants to pet and hug them and shit. Like, kids, dogs, plushies, sea monkeys, he loves them all. He's the type of guy to pet the dog in video games. We're also introduced to the other employees and all of their wacky bits. As I said, Takanashi likes cute small things, and Papura is a cute small thing, always trying to get taller. Inami has a fear of men and punches them into the stratosphere. A fear that was developed from her dad, like, showing her slasher flicks and being like, this is what men are gonna do to you. All men are freaking evil. Which sort of backfired, because then she became afraid of him as well. There's Todoroki, who's all sweet, but everyone's scared of her because she always has a katana. They never know what she's gonna do with it. Soma somehow has dirt on everyone, and he just uses it to blackmail and fuck with people, just for fun. Sato is like the quiet, chill type who weirdly looks like Sanji. He's even a chef and everything. Kyoko is the lazy assistant manager who just bums around eating all the desserts. And Otto is the actual manager who's never around because he's going on a big globetrotting adventure to find his lost wife. This show never really has one main ongoing plot, it's instead several plots between the characters that they keep jumping between. Takanashi and Inami develop romantically as he tries helping her get over her fear of men. Papura is just trying all sorts of shit to get taller. Todoroki has a backstory with Kyoko which is explored, and she's also working to confess her feelings to Sato. And Otto's going to like China and shit trying to find his wife. And Soma, he just kind of exists. They even make a meta joke at the end of the series about how he didn't do anything this whole time, but hey, he's still funny. And I'll be honest with you guys, I like this show so much, I watched all 3 seasons. Like, yes, Spin.Mo said I only had to watch season 2, but why stop there when I'm having such a fun time? Like, it's not the world's funniest show or anything, it's no Urusei Yatsura, but it's cute, it's chill, and it was enough to keep me smiling throughout. They even give some status quo changes to spice things up, like Otto's wife finally being found. And it turns out she's just some cryptid who wanders the sewers, and she just vanishes again if you blink for even a second. I especially like the bit where she didn't even disappear because they looked away. She disappeared because the camera angle changed. The characters were just confused as fuck. They introduced some other new characters, like my goat, Maya Normal Matsumoto, whose whole bit is appearing exclusively in season finales, acting like she's always been here, and Her whole thing is insisting that she's normal, but, you know, in a world full of weirdos, being normal makes you the weird one. She may have only appeared for 3 episodes, but she's the GOAT. But she's not my favorite character. That honor would have to go to Yamada.
Go fuck yourself, and then go die.
You see, Yamada is introduced in Season 1, but it's Season 2 onward where she really shines. I just fucking love her. She's just pure, unfiltered chaos. She's run away from her supposedly terrible home and just lives in the restaurant attic. Like, she forces Otto to be her dad, and she doesn't really contribute much to the restaurant. She destroys every plate she touches, and everyone just kind of beats her up. They also introduce Yamada's brother, who is equally stupid. Like, he's always looking for her and will always, like, just miss her. He also goes around dark, isolated alleyways, grabs women, and tries ripping their faces off because he thinks that they might be Yamada using, like, a Scooby-Doo disguise. He sees nothing wrong with this either. But we can't talk about Wagnaria without mentioning Kotori-chan. Kotori is actually Takanashi's secondary cross-dressing persona. I thought him cross-dressing would be a one-off gag like most anime that use this trope, but he just kind of keeps doing it. Like, at the beginning, Papura keeps ranting about how Takanashi would be the perfect woman, so she keeps making schemes to make him cross-dress. But by the end, he's just kind of doing it for love of the game. He insists that it's to make Inami more comfortable, because, you know, she's afraid of men, but I don't know, man. He starts engaging in girl talk and everything. And you know what? I support that. He looks way better as Kotori than he ever did with his main design. The show ends by introducing Takanashi's mother, who's treated like this big kind of endgame Thanos level boss, and that's pretty understandable because she is a complete psychopath. Apparently she used drugs, weapon, and magic to make their dad fall in love with her, which is probably why he died so young. She gets fed up with him not confessing to Inami, so she takes him home, quits the job on his behalf, straps him to a chair, and just forces him to be Kotori because she doesn't think he's worthy of being a man. And so the finale's kind of like this Scott Pilgrim shit where Inami has to fight his 4 sisters to get to him, each with their own wacky traits. Like, there's the oldest, who's just a sad divorced lawyer. Inami defeats her by reminding her of her broken marriage. There's the wholesome 100 little sister character who's just freakishly tall. I think you start to realize that Takanashi's love for small things, it's like he could see himself in them because all of his sisters just tower over him. This is some deep shit. There's the sad, depressed poet and the drunkard who legitimately has a homophobe to bisexuality arc. Like, early on, she's telling her buddy Miki to quit being such a lesbian, but by the end, she's trying to bang both Miki and her twin brother. We must inform the masses Wagnaria has gone woke. I won't spoil how it ends exactly because I want you to watch the show yourself. I mean, it's 37 episodes, which might seem like a lot for some, but trust me, it's worth it. But yeah, it was a satisfying ending to a show I find pretty good. As for how it stands as an adaptation to the original manga, I think it succeeds in that department as well. Granted, I only read a couple of chapters for the sake of this video. I mean, maybe it spirals into a complete dog-shit betrayal of the source material later on, but I liked what I saw. Not only is the show just beautifully animated, but I think they did a good job extending these bite-sized chapters into something more cohesive for TV. Like, they slow down the pacing a bit to let things kind of settle in more. And I'll always prefer an adaptation that takes some liberties for its medium than something that's just a one-to-one copy-paste. So that was Magnaria, a show so good that it made working seem fun, which it's not. Don't fall for the propaganda, do not go get a job, you are gonna stay at home all day and watch more Starlight videos. That's right, you're gonna go watch Sonic in 2025, because it severely underperformed, even though I spent so much time getting that cute avatar made. Fuck you guys, I hate my fans. But don't leave yet, we need to talk about show number 2, and that's a hentai. No, not reviewing that. And show number 2. Kochikame the movie? The guy from J-Star Victory Versus? Alright, being real for a sec, I had no idea what Kochikame was until my buddy Blazer informed me that it's apparently one of the longest running manga of all time, so, whoops, I guess I'm a fake anime fan. But hey, I know what Galactic Gale Baxengar is. I bet you can't say that. I actually shouldn't say that, because knowing the types of comments I get on these videos, I'll have one guy being like, yeah, I've been a fan of Galactic Gale Baxengar since the late 80s. But yeah, Kochikame. You know, after watching this movie, I get why the series is so long. Despite being completely unfamiliar with the source material, I was able to follow along just fine. It's just one of those comedy series that anyone could tune into at any time and get the gist. You know, something like SpongeBob, The Simpsons, or SML. Alright, maybe not that one.
My favorite animal is your carrot.
Kochikame follows the life of the bumbling police officer Kankichi Ryotsu, starting in 1976 and running all the way till 2016. He's kind of like the Paul Blart of Japan, but unfortunately we don't live in a world where Paul Blart went on for 50 years. So, let's just talk about Ryotsu's first theatrical outing. The movie opens with a funny scene of Ryotsu needing to stage a bank robbery, you know, for some police training, but he gets way too into the role and just starts doing a real bank robbery, but then comes real criminals and it turns into a whole thing where he's running around the city with a bomb strapped to his chest. It's funny shit. But yeah, after that he goes for a regular stroll around the city and notices these bizarre, ugly-ass buildings that have popped out of nowhere. Don't you just hate when your favorite local spot is taken over by a giant Egyptian sphinx? Turns out these are being built by a corporation known as the Shinatora Corporation. And while they are ugly and distracting, what they're doing isn't particularly illegal. The real conflict comes from a terrorist named Ben 10 going around blowing them up. But thankfully Ryotsu's here to save the day, alongside the movie's original character Lisa, who specializes in bombs and defusing bombs with her robot companion. It's your classic dynamic. Lisa is super serious and Ryotsu's doing goofy toy tricks. It's a simple, rather predictable story, but who cares, man? These characters are endearing. It's still worth the watch. Like, even underneath all the absurd slapstick humor, it's still got some heart. There's this really good scene where Lisa tells Ryotsu about how much she loves this city, the people, the sights, and the night she would watch the fireworks with her father, and vents about how these buildings are trampling all over those memories. And that's when Ryotsu puts 2 and 2 together to realize, yeah, she probably is Ben 10. I like how it isn't framed as some big, you lied to me twist. It's just critical thinking, showing us that Ryotsu isn't a complete moron. And he's not mad at her or anything, he actually sympathizes with her motives, believing she has enough humanity in her heart to step down from the role herself, rather than just throwing her behind bars. He instead decides to work with her, where they find Shinatora has built an amusement park, and underneath lies Soviet missiles capable of probably killing dozens of people. They conclude that Shinatora is trying to blow themselves up in order to garner publicity and sympathy, while pinning all the blame on Benten. I like how once they fire the missiles though, Shinatora realizes, oh shit, like, these are fucking Soviet missiles, a lot of people are about to die. Oh, I guess it's up to Ryotsu to save the day. Where he proceeds to ride the missile throughout the city, and he launches off a drawbridge like a ramp, and hits Shinatora's personal jet, landing the CEOs directly into a jail cell. It is some wacky shit, but we all live happily ever after, except for Lisa, who gets deported from Japan, cause, yeah, blowing up buildings will probably do that to you. Honestly, I'm surprised that's all she got. But yeah, this movie's dumb, it's fun, it's the Kochikame movie, what more could you want? Even if you aren't familiar with the franchise like I was, it's still worth a watch. I mean, it's only 90 minutes, so you really don't got a lot to lose. Ryotsu is a funny guy, the plot works, and the art is honestly phenomenal. It's just very well animated, the characters are expressive, and man, I just love the 70s anime style. Look at those sharp noses, it makes me feel like I'm watching another Toei Super Robot series, which thank fucking god I'm not. But yeah, once again, that's 2 good anime. Let's see if the pattern persists, and we get the elusive 3rd bad one with our 3rd anime. If you were an anime fan in the 2010s, you might recognize this series, or at least its director, Yamakan. Yamakan did a lot of directorial work for KyoAni during its golden years. Granted, he was never a primary director for one show, but he did a couple episodes for stuff like Lucky Star, Canon, Heart Air, and Full Metal Panic. He's clearly not a man devoid of talent. However, with how he speaks in public, you would think he's Osamu Tezuka himself. This dude is completely fucking insane, and the circumstances surrounding Fractale get talked about way more than Fractale itself. Let me delve into it a bit. To put it simply, this dude is just sort of an asshole. Like, he got fired from KyoAni for this very reason. And when going into Fractale, he had an idea that sounded pretty reasonable on paper, but he always throws in these extreme statements that piss off everyone, with the most infamous example being his hatred for Moe. For those of you out of the loop, Moe basically refers to a character or series where their defining trait is being cute and wholesome. Think something like K-On! Or Lucky Star, shows that are about cute girls doing cute things. It was a genre that was booming in the 2000s and 2010s, and it was something that worried Yamakan for reasons I find to be pretty understandable. His main argument is that Moe series are sort of niche. They aren't something anyone could jump into and get. Majority of the people who watch Moe series are already kind of in anime circles. Like, any random mom could enjoy a Ghibli film, but I think if I showed my mom Lucky Star, it would just fry her brain circuits. Therefore, Moe being the dominant genre will limit the medium's growth potential. He believed that if anime was to find success, then they should encourage more series that could be enjoyed by everyone, even outside of anime circles. Using Evangelion, Your Name, and Ghibli films as his primary examples, which, I don't know about Evangelion, man, that one's a bit questionable. But yeah, outside of implying Your Name is a good movie, I think it's a pretty reasonable take, but he had to muddy the whole thing with drastic statements like saying anime is completely dead because it's not going the direction he wants. He compared working on Moe series to, like, fucking fascism, and he just started throwing digs at shit like the Eva rebuilds or Gundam Reconquista and G. Like, keep Tomino's name out of your mouth, buddy, he owns you. Yamakan tried doing a solo animation studio, but it went bankrupt because, again, he fucking sucks to work with. The woman who got forced to draw Fractale's manga would make public blog entries about how much she fucking hated working on it, and so Yamakan started publicly advocating for her to get fired, which, yeah, maybe she shouldn't have complained about that publicly, but like, come on man, don't you think that's a little extreme? There's also the time he called anime fans mentally challenged, which, that's a little funny, but also you shouldn't be saying that sort of shit to the people you are trying to sell to. And on a less funny note, he started, like, getting weirdly racist towards Chinese and Korean fans, which, like, that's just not cool, man. You made fucking Fractale. Right, that's what this is about. Fractale. The show that's apparently so good that Yamakan said he would quit the entire industry if he flopped. Which it did flop, and he came crawling back a couple years later anyway, and then promised to quit again if his next show didn't. This guy's a fucking drama queen. But yes, I sat down and watched Fractale, and you know what? I can't believe out of every show to break the Spin.mo curse, it was made by the guy who told an idol who got stabbed by her stalker, you should've just been prepared to fight back. Like, yes, Yamakan fucking sucks, but God, I actually enjoyed Fractale. Please know I'm separating art from artist here. Like, yes, this show isn't the 10 out of 10 he made it out to be, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. Fractale takes place within a pseudo-virtual reality landscape called the Fractale system. Our main character, Klain, spends his days collecting relics from the old world, living alongside virtual copies of his parents called Doppels. And Doppels just look like silly creatures. Don't question it, those are his parents. However, one day, a girl crash lands into Klain's designated space, trying to escape these 3 Team Rocket-esque goons called the Lost Millennium. She introduces herself as Frine, and after spending the night hiding at Klain's place, she mysteriously vanishes, leaving a pendant behind for him which contains a hyper-advanced doppel named Nessa. Nessa is cute, quirky, and wholesome. Oh, but I thought Yamako hated moe shit. I guess the fascists busted in and held him at gunpoint to add a moe character. Anyways, growing sick of his metaverse life and wanting to find where Frane left and why she left behind Nessa, the two set out on a journey that takes a sharp turn once they run into the Lost Millennium again. They get captured and taken to their headquarters, where it turns out they're a freedom-fighting organization, trying to destroy the Fractale system in order to reclaim their humanity and restore the old world. The reason they hunted for Frane the night prior is because she's the key to all this, with us later learning that she was an ordinary teenage girl whose mind was used as the basis for the Fractale server. And Nessa is kind of a cloned backup version who's capable of bending Fractale itself. As we go through the series, we explore the different components of this world, with Klain and Nessa questioning whether they should break the system or repair it. Like, we meet some people who rely on the Fractale system because their regular lives are just so painful. And I'm not gonna lie, the show had me hooked, and it's helped by its immaculate presentation. The character animation is smooth and expressive, the backgrounds are gorgeous and expansive, and the soundtrack gives everything this cinematic feel. It really does feel like a Ghibli movie, but it also kind of reminds me of Eureka 7. Apparently, I'm not alone in thinking this. I haven't actually, watched Eureka 7. I experienced its story via Super Robot Wars Z2, but goddamn, I'll get to that retrospective someday. But yeah, Fractale, it looks beautiful, and I really dug the writing. The way the characters speak and interact feels very grounded. It's not like Wagnaria, where I could describe most of the characters in one word. The characters here are multi-layered. Both Klain and Frime laugh, cry, get angry, and just act irrationally like a real kid would. And while Nessa is a more overly exaggerated moe character, I think it fits given the whole point of her character is that she's not human. She kind of feels like the designer's idea of what a teenage girl acts like, and maybe that's Yamakan's subtle deconstruction of the moe genre or whatever. Unlike other moe series, Fractale focuses on the characters. But yeah, I think this show's best moments are simply the ones where the characters are just sitting there bumming around with each other. The show just kind of has this warm, cozy feeling, which is funny given the man behind it is the most hateful person ever. I saw a lot of people complain about the super slow pacing, but I'll be real, man. We live in an era where I feel like everything moves way too fucking fast, so I appreciated the slowed down approach. Although this does bite them in the ass at the last minute, because I found the ending itself to be slightly rushed. Like, I don't think it's a horrible ending on paper. They finally have to make their big decision on what they want to do with the Fractale system, but it all happens in, like, the last 15 minutes of the show. Like, I feel like such a massive decision should have more weight. Like, even just one more episode lingering on it for a bit longer would have gone a long way. It kind of sticks out like a sore thumb given how slowly the rest of the series moved. But aside from that small hiccup at the end, the show genuinely did have me engaged the whole time. Like, it's no masterpiece that's gonna save anime and defeat Moe, but if you're looking for a good 7, 8 out of 10 anime to spend your afternoon with, then I think this is a pretty good pick. Just enjoy the ride and learn to separate art from artist. Because trust me, once again I'll say it, I fucking hate Yamakan, but yes, I do enjoy Fractale. Also, yes, I do know that he directed the funny dance that I use in all of my EDs, so I can indirectly thank him for like half of my channel's branding. So, thank you, Yamakan. Fuck you, Yamakan. I don't like this guy. Do we have that clear? Are we all good? Well, gee, Starlight, I'm feeling far from good right now. What do you mean you aren't feeling good right now? There's been nothing but good this entire video. We broke the curse with 3 good shows. Well, yeah, that's the problem. I don't want to watch you having fun. I want to watch you suffer. Look, man, I don't decide the roles. Spin.mo was just feeling nice today. Watch the hentai! No, man, I am not gonna sit down and watch. You're gonna watch that fucking hentai. Okay, fine, I'll watch the damn hentai. Well, folks, looks like we finally reached the bottom of my YouTube career. Welcome to Starlight Hentai Reviews! Today, we got Binetsukko B37C, the animation. What does that title mean? I don't know, and I don't care. It's porn. Let's see where it ranks on the Fapatron. Will it be W Faps or L Faps? Get out your tissues, boys, girls, or non-binary individuals. Hey, we don't judge. Binetsukko follows the life of high school—
She told me she was 18! She told me she was 18!
I'm never seeing the pearly gates, man.
What I'm trying to say is characters that don't exist in real life, you are allowed to find them sexually attractive if they are underage.
Binetsukko follows the life of high school student Mitsumi Kagito, who gets a rather embarrassing photo taken of her by a dude named Inohiko. And the only way to stop him from leaking that embarrassing photo is by becoming his sex slave. I'm really never seeing the pearly gates, man. They never actually reveal what the embarrassing photo is. Like, I think we're supposed to assume it's probably like some sexual photo, but I like to think it's just her like picking her nose or some shit. But regardless of what it is, I think being a sex slave is probably worse than getting any photo leaked of you. I also like how, like, after the blowjob sessions, Inohiko will randomly be like, "Are you comfortable with this? I mean, we can stop. I'm not trying to do anything you wouldn't want to." You blackmailed her into being a sex slave. Whatever, man. It's a fucking hentai. Why am I questioning the plot at all? We're here for the sex scenes. There's blowjobs, anal pegging, all the works. Inohiko even hooks his buddy up to the sex slave meta, and they have a double date except with sex slaves. And this dude, like, he sucks the girl's pussy and is like, it tastes like pee. And I completely disassociated at that point. I was just eating a bag of chips, nodding my head as a woman shoved a water bottle up her pussy. This is LFAPS for sure, because even putting aside the fact that I'm not particularly into these tags, you can't even see half of it because of how bad bad the censorship is. Like, his dick turns blue at one point, and I have no fucking idea why, because it's so pixelated. Is that something that happens? Is pulling your dick out of the pussy and it's blue like the sex equivalent to getting a shiny Pokemon? Oh look, Voldemort translated this. He who shall not be named except in a hentai fansub, I guess. Maybe I'm just not built for this. I'm not a hentai connoisseur, so let's go see what the experts have to say. Yes, there is My Anime List discussion boards for hentai episodes. Don't question it. Just gonna scroll, and it's that fucking Roy Fokker from Super Dimension Fortress Macross fame. What are you doing in hentai discussion forums, man? The Zentradi are attacking. I swear to God, why can I just never escape Macross? Like, even when the retrospectives are done, here I am now thinking about Roy leaving Hikaru the hentai collection in his will. Does this satiate you bastards who wanted me to watch something bad? Is this my punishment for actually enjoying Fractale? You know what? Yamakan was right. Anime fucking sucks. Godzilla, take me away.